Hey everybody, thanks for joining me for another one-man review. Today I'm going to look at a mini comic by formalist extraordinaire Matt Madden. I started communicating with Matt after I got his book Ex Libris. I've avoided reviewing this because I want to do a more in-depth review, but it's a book from Uncivilized Books, and it's a really cool formalist book where the characters like trapped in the book and Matt's switching a lot of styles. He has another book out that I need to get called 99 Ways to Tell a Story, Experiments in Style. So Matt, like me, I think is very interested in switching styles and is obviously very interested in comics that have heavy formal components. His book Ex Libris came out the same day as our book, Strange Death of Alex Raymond. Because of the delay that our book went through, they came out on the same day, which I thought was pretty cool because once I got a hold of Ex Libris, I thought there were some thematic similarities of trying to mix up reality and fiction and how things can move between reality and fiction, and some formal tricks that I felt were familiar from my time on Alex Raymond as well. So I sent Matt a copy of Strange Death, um, basically hoping to open a conversation with someone whose work I feel a kinship with. And he sent back this small book, The Bridge, and then I'm hoping, Matt, if you watch this, I'm hoping that we can have a talk and interview or something, because I really do feel a kinship to what you're doing, and I'd love to talk more. But this is a small book that Matt did originally as a 24-hour comic, and in talking to him, he told me that there was some other work, some finishing work done afterwards. So not all the inking was done in that 24-hour period. But Matt also seems to like working within constraints, so he likes that history of constrained literature. And the particular constraint in this book, which is really leads to a really interesting overall narrative, is that each page represents like a time gap. Well, the gap between pages is 10 years basically. So it's a 24-hour comic. It's a short comic. I don't want to give away too much about it, but it's this boy at a young age is told by an old woman something about a special bridge, and so he spends his life kind of obsessing about the bridge, and you get these gaps of him, growing up every 10 years and eventually having a child and passing on this obsession about the bridge to his child. So that's part two. And then part three picks up on someone else who years later kind of adopts this from, finding some old research papers and stuff. So that's as much as I want to say about the story because it's short. I don't want to give it away. But I really like that conceit. I think Matt played within that conceit very well and use that 10-year gap to the advantage of the story, to the thrust of the story, and wraps it up in the end in a really satisfying way. I personally cannot imagine making a comic, even if there was some finishing done later, within 24 hours. I'm such a slow thinker that any of these 24-hour comics are really impressive to me. And then to have one that has this added constraint and tells such an interesting, cool little story is really impressive to me. So very, very much like this book. Really, really enjoyed. Again, I'll put it on screen. Like I said, I wanted to save this for a larger review or hopefully a talk with Matt. But Ex Libris, go out and grab it now. It's a really awesome book. And while you're at it, if you haven't already, pick up a copy of Strange Death of Alex Raymond. They're even about the same size. Check that out. You should have these two books together. His is a little shorter, but a little wider. By about the amount that it's shorter, it's wider. So I was really, really pleased that these two books came out on the same day. So maybe furthered my sense of kinship. So hopefully I'm using this video here unabashedly, A, to pump Matt stuff, and B, to hopefully we'll have some excuse to talk to him. I've also ordered a number of his other books from a shop in his hometown, so I'll be looking at those. I'm very excited. I foolishly hadn't heard of Matt until this book came out, and he's obviously been working for a while and doing a lot of cool formalist stuff. So it was a gap in my knowledge about comics that I'm a little bit ashamed about, but I'm excited to go shore it up with his work. Thanks for following along. Take it away, Jack.
You want to see all these books? Smash